Yo, what's going on, y'all? We are back here in the kitchen. Happy holidays. It's over. We in the new year 2025. Listen, we about to get it started. God has been good. He's blessing us. Listen, we here together right now, and we about to get into this kitchen, and we about to get it fired up today. Yes, we are. Today's topic is father relationships, the importance. But before we get into the topics, look, Lady T has been out, guys, and she's been chilling, relaxing. Look, she looked refreshed. Look at her, look at that smile.
So happy.
That's what we talking about. And look at my boy Rodney. He hasn't look, he ain't missed a beat. And my boy Javier, which I see all the time at work, y'all. Javier, let him know about yo, introduce yourself, Jav.
Yeah, thanks, D. I appreciate it. My name's Javier. 33 years old. Um, I am a is working hard in becoming a better Christian every single day. I am a barista for the last uh 15 years of my life. I've been able to grow a coffee barista business for the last 7 years, as well as work a full-time job and meet amazing people like Dennis. And just happy to be here, happy to be healthy, and happy to talk to like-minded people about the most important thing in the world.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, all right. We'd love to hear that. Hey Hob, if you wanted to put your handles in the chat, put your handles in the chat. Let people know where you at, where they can see you at, where they can see some of your work, some of your art. Let them know, man. Javi is in the building, y'all. We know it's all good. It's all positive in here. This is the energy that we pouring out, and we gonna keep it in with a new year, 2025, y'all. Listen, listen. Energy is here. Energy is back. Ain't that what you wanted to see, Rodney? The
Yes, sir.
energy is back. Let's go, man. 25, man. Listen, I can't even begin to tell you how God has blessed me, but we not even gonna get into that right now. So we gonna look. I'm just serious. I'm just saying. Look, man. Listen, I'm just saying. But we gonna get into the topic there because it's real juicy right now for a lot of happy families, broken families. We about to try to educate, love on you, and have peace, you know what I'm saying, and joy and laughter in this conversation. So we're basically talking about the active fathers, living in the home versus no father, you know, not living in the home, but still active in the home. Yeah, you feel me? So um I got some questions for you guys. So we're gonna drop into the questions right real quick. But I just want to leave you guys with something to think about. The power of having a father, the absence of a father, how detrimental it could be to a family, not just a child, but a family, how important it is. The father is the covering. He sets the ground rules as well as the mother, but he is the protector. He is, the leader of the family and supposed to be the sole provider for the family. When I say protector, I mean not just protecting physically, emotionally, and some men do not know how to do that. So we're gonna dive right into it. And I got some questions. So first, we're gonna start with our guest, Javier. How do a father lead if he is broken himself?
How does the father lead if he's broken himself? So I can relate a lot because I unfortunately, my dad died at 19 years old. When I was 19 years old, so I didn't really get to experience a dad most of my life. He was in and out. My mom was a single mom of five growing up, so she had to play the father and the mother in the household. So it was it was very difficult to get uh of an example of a father growing up. Luckily, I did have an older brother, so he had no choice but to set the tone. And without my brothers, I don't think I would be the same person I am today. And I think the most important part is just um I feel the father provides that discipline, that order that we uh need in our life. Maybe not want certain times while growing up, but definitely it is the example that we get to see when we grow up, that I had to learn by myself, or just seeing other fathers from other families and seeing how awesome that is, just to have that trust and that protection, knowing that they're in that household, knowing that they are in the front of the line. And now being a little bit older and I got little brothers with me, I get to be that example as well. There is no room for error. There is no room for weakness. There is no room for allowing things to get you and things to break you down. And I think that is the beauty behind what I've been able to learn through Christianity, is just, what is the representation of the man. And that's where I feel like my connection with Christ is. I've been able to see what he intends us to want to be like and what we should strive for. So without having that in the house, I feel a lot of men fall into just being overly nourished at times, maybe just a lot of, maybe too much love and not necessarily enough discipline. And my mom did her best she could. She was funny. She allowed us to do everything, right? But we didn't really have any rules in the house, so we kind of went crazy. So when I was 18 years old and I got out the house, I didn't really know how to be a man. I didn't know how to run my finances. I didn't know how to maintain a job. So a lot of these things come into play when you're a young adult. Is what example are you supposed to follow, so you make sure you don't fall into these life traps.
Okay, Lady T, how do a father lead if he is broken himself?
Well, I'm gonna say, from my perspective and looking at other men, I think that men want to do better. Most men, if they didn't have a father in their life, they realize the structure that they want to have, or they, they're inspired to have something better. So I think that most men will look at, if they did not have a father, they probably want to do better, right? That's what I think of. So my father, for me, I'll say that my dad looked at his dad and saw things, possibly, this is me just assuming, possibly things that he did not like and he wanted to do better. So my father was a good dad. He is still a good dad. He was there. He did provide for me and my sisters, my brothers. And, he has been that guy that was hardworking, and he provided, for his family. I grew up with my dad. My parents are still together. I think they're going on 50 years soon. Like, things that I experience, a lot of people I have learned have not had, that experience with. And so for me, I do feel very blessed to have my father still in my life. I was very, a daddy's girl type. But he did put discipline, and also I did not really listen. So I was hard-headed a lot. So I did what I wanted to do, right? But my dad still put the structure down for what it should be like. But I did my own path. And so, I told him a long time ago, as we were, I'm in my 40s, and I told him a long time ago that in my 40s, I said, Dad, I love you. I was like, I told him I loved him. I appreciated his hard work and effort. He's sickly right now, but he's more, still there. And I had to show him, what they say, give him your flowers while they're here, type of thing. And I did do that because my heart was led to do it, because I realized there are a lot of people that still do not have their father. Their father was not great to them. They didn't have, the guidance and things. So I feel blessed, but I do believe that men, most of the time, this is my personal opinion, men want to do better for their children most of the time, especially if they did not get that for themselves from their father. That's just my personal opinion. I've seen that a lot, but, I think that every generation wants to, see some type of success in their life, and they, strive to go towards that success. And, that's just people in general. And I've seen that in a lot of men.
All righty, Ronnie, big Rod, what's up? What you think, man?
Well, just re-ask me the question real quick. So I want to make sure I'm answering the question.
How do fathers lead if they are broken themselves?
All right. Well, I'm going to say this, that when I listen to that question, it hits me very much to home because my father died when I was 11 and I was broken. You know what I'm saying? His passing away, I didn't realize how broken I was until I became a father myself. And I went through the things as a child, but when I became a father myself, that's when I realized, as my first son got older, I realized that I'm getting to a point where I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do because I didn't have a father after 11 years. 11. And when my son turned 11, it was a very emotional day for me. And I sat there and we had a great day and this, that, and the other. And I told him, I was like, look, son, I just want to let you know, all I'm going to promise you from this point on is I'm going to be the best father that I possibly can for you. But I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you know right now, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, and me and my son is now 23 now. We've had the conversation as in his adult life where, he said to me, he was like, Dad, I do remember when you said that to me. I do remember that point. And it became important to me to make sure that I was also the best child for you. You know what I'm saying? Because he said I felt like we were in it together. You know what I'm saying? We were in it together, figuring out what's the next step, what's the process, how are we going to get here? You know what I'm saying? And I've been very open and honest with my children about my childhood, the mistakes that I made, to try to learn from those mistakes. Now, when my father did pass away, my brother did help take care of me. But to answer your question, he leads the best way he possibly can. And I wanted better for my children. I promised that I would be there, that I would never be a visiting father, that my children would never have to look for me, that my children would never have to go and wonder where's daddy at or this, that, and other, because I was going to be there because I didn't want them to ever feel the way I felt when my father passed away and I just wanted my dad. You know what I'm saying? I remember that the only reason I started playing football was because when my dad passed away, he loved football. And I was like, well, if I play football, my dad's going to come to my games. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset. When you're 11-year-old, that's your mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I started playing football, got very good at football. And I still remember my senior day where they had Parents' Day. I don't know if y'all familiar with that, when the parents come out and they walk the senior to the middle. I didn't have anyone. You know what I'm saying? And that was really the day I realized my dad was not coming back. And it was extremely emotional for me. And then when I had my kids, it became even more emotional and more important to me to always be there for them. You know what I'm saying? That I would never wanted my children to have that experience of dad not being there. So, and I set my life accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the next thing that I want to do is walk my daughter down the aisle is the greatest thing that I want to do right now. Forget my job, all that kind of stuff. It's walking my daughter down the aisle. I want to be alive for that. I want to be, healthy for that and a part of it and make sure that I am there for her. So in my opinion, the only way, we have to, when you're damaged, the only way is the best way you can. You know what I'm saying? With the strength of God, you can do anything. So, that's how I did it. It was just the best way I could. Every day I tried to be better. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. The next one question is, now this might be a little tricky.
You ain't answer the question yourself either? You just want to ask the questions and not answer them? Not give us your opinion?
Oh, well, sir, yeah, you say it right there, sir. Sure.
Yeah, well,
all right, well, for me, like you said, no, I just want to piggyback off real quick, is if the father is broken, I think the best time they will realize that their dad was broken is when they become an adult, because as a child, you really can't recognize the brokenness in your parents because they're trying to do the best that they can in the circumstance or the situation. So, once you become an adult and you learn how to navigate in the world, you realize that, that wasn't the best way to raise a child, but you learn your own, and you say, like Lady T said, you want to do better, you know what I'm saying? And you want to be more supportive, because there are fathers that are not as supportive, and they're providers, but not supporters to, like you said, Rodney, to going out to functions with the kids. All they have the mindset of just providing, a roof over their head and clothes on their back, and that's it. And, and food on the table, but it's more than just that. So when you, as you get older and you have your own children, you realize that it's more than just provided all those things. It's a mental, it's physical, because love is an action word. You know what I'm saying? When you really look at it, it's not just saying, "Oh, I love you." It's more of action. You got to show your love. So being supportive, being there when they're at a choir rehearsal, or they're in basketball, you being at the game, that shows the love that you have for that child, regardless of work conditions. You want to go out there and you support them, because I guarantee you, most children, when they're in some type of activity and they see their parent out there, they get that battery in their back and they going hard, because they want to make their parent proud. So I think that's something big in realizing that, in some of our parents, of their brokenness. Because I tell you right now, my dad was a great father, but when it came down to that, he didn't really, come to all of my activities because he was working. But for me, when I had my kids, when Imani was doing her thing, I was at everything. I didn't miss nothing. I was like, oh, I can't work. I'm going to see this, because it was important to me to make sure that I was there supporting her. I was being her number one fan in everything that she does. So that's my answer for you, guys. Now the next question is, what's more detrimental? A father who is, I think I might have just answered this, a father who's living in the house that's not engaged, versus a father who is very supportive and not living in the house. What's more detrimental to you, Javier? What would you say? Let me read that against you. Did you understand that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the most important thing is, if you remove the father from the house, it's the most detrimental thing you can do to the child. Just starting off that. So no matter how much support, if the mom and dad are not together, raising the kid together in the same household, it is the worst thing you can do for the child. So, but it doesn't mean that that person can't show support if they're not in the household. I think God intended us to be with our wife and kids in the same roof, and to show the difference of man and woman in the household, and what one is supposed to do than the other, and the father, maybe he's not coming to all the sports events, but him being the hardworking person, the provider, as you mentioned, Dennis, they're laying the groundwork, the foundation in the family, right? They're showing that, hey, I'm not present here, mom is present, but hey, when dad comes back home, there's respect, there's a level of integrity that that this man just spent his whole day working hard to provide for the family. And maybe as a kid you don't realize that, right? I sure didn't realize a lot of the things that my dad did. Him unfortunately not being in the same household, but I knew he was trying to do his best. He had his demons, like we all do. But just to answer the question, I think once you remove the father out the house, that is the biggest detrimental you can do.
Lady T?
I agree with Javier completely. It doesn't matter the situation. You need the mother and the father in the house to give both perspectives in the family. I think it's good for children to see that. And if a child does not see that, I think that really kind of hinders their growth. So that's all I'll add to it.
Nope. Rodney.
Well, I got a kind of little different point of view on it. One being that so what was the other thing besides the dad not being in the house? What was the other detrimental thing?
Is the father just being in the house and just providing, but not engaged with the family that much. So all he does is just work, make sure they got everything, and really not engage in conversations versus a father who is not living in the house that's very supportive to the children.
All right. So I know some fathers who are not living in the house who are extremely supportive, but when they were living in the house, it was toxic. You know what I'm saying? The relationship between the father and the mother of the children was very toxic. And I feel that some of those people are in some of those situations, and I'm not saying this is all. Now let's get something straight. I do believe that a man and a woman in the house together is always the best scenario. You know what I'm saying? It is the best scenario, but I do believe that if the relationship isn't working, that staying in a house just for the kids is not the answer.
Of course, we all agree.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, just in case, because I don't want to get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? But because I know some people who are extremely good fathers and not in the household. You know what I'm saying, to their parents too. So, but it definitely is always better. But I don't feel that a father who's not engaged, who's just living there and not engaged, is not a good thing either. You know what I'm saying? I know people who have had fathers in their life and still have some major issues because their father was there but wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So, but to answer your question, which one is more detrimental? I would think that the father not being there in the household is definitely going to end up in the long run more detrimental. You know what I'm saying? As far as to the child, I know my father not being there was extremely, was extremely tough for me. It was mind blowing for my mother. You know, the love of her life passed away suddenly, and my dad was only 46 when he passed away. So he went to work and never came back. So it was traumatic for everyone. But but the sad part was I didn't even realize what my father was back then. I thought my dad was just a glorified, because I was I love my mom. I was the typical. Usually the daughters tend to the fathers and the sons are in love with their mothers. And I was in love with my mom. My dad was a glorified chauffeur to me. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was a good, but to me, he took me to my soccer games. He took me to all that stuff. So that's what I mean by glorified chauffeur. But I didn't realize how important he was until, like you said, until he was gone. You know, when you're a kid and you have this person, it's kind of like that thing they say in a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant and everything is good, you don't tell nobody. You just like, oh, no, everything's happy. But as soon as something goes wrong, you tell 10 people. You know what I'm saying? So until something went wrong, I didn't know. I thought, it was just normal. He was the everyday dad. I didn't know that dads didn't exist in people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought everybody had what I had. So, until you get older, you don't realize that, like I think you said, Chef Dennis. But yeah, not having a dad in the house would be my answer.
Okay. Now
what's your thoughts, Dennis?
No, I agree with you guys. Yeah. Without a shadow of doubt. Both parents in the house. I mean, that's the most important. Without that, it's going to be detrimental. Like Lady T said, you think about you come to this world, when children see their parents, that's all they know in the beginning, mom and dad. So they love mom and dad equally. So it's not like, oh, I love you more, mommy. Oh, I love you more, daddy. No, that's all they see. That's all they see, mommy, dad. So when they don't see one parent on a consistent basis, like she said, they go crazy. Like, where my father at? Where my mommy at? So it breaks them. It's like, it like breaks their heart. You know, all they know is mommy and daddy. You know, and now it's only one parent. They devastated. They're like, oh, I want my daddy. Oh, I want my mommy. They devastated. So I think that's the most important, having both parents. Now I gotta switch it up for Lady T, but I'm gonna go with you, Javier, first again. Explain to the men that are watching why it's important to teach men how to find the right woman for their family.
So this is a tough question for me because I've made mistakes on this, right? But I think at this moment today, I think the most important thing is their belief in Christ. Without having the same understanding of that, I think in the long run, it's a detrimental to the relationship. And that's some things that I still deal with today, right? And I know that's a little traditional, very old school of thinking, but if that household, if one disagrees or one doesn't believe, or one's an atheist, agnostic, and the other one's a Catholic Christian, it's gonna play out. It's gonna play out in your decision makings. It's gonna play out in what you value, what do you think is more important. And I think if you end up having kids, it's gonna play out negatively, just because, you know, if you have Christian values, there's things that you stand for, there's things that you don't accept, things you don't allow things to happen in the household. And I think when you're picking your partner, you have to have that same common ground. You have to at least be like, hey, look, there is a higher being, there is things that we don't know. You know, a lot of us in the West, we're very ignorant to this idea, right? We just think that it's a very individual lifestyle. We're supposed to just succeed and have all this money and glory, but we're here for a purpose, and our purpose here is to build a relationship with Christ and repent for our sins.
Rodney?
Yeah, let me get the question one more time.
How would you explain to men on why it's important to teach them how to find the right woman for them and their family, for them as an individual, but then also for their family? So basically their wife.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, mind you, hold up. Let me just go back for a minute. Rodney, I understand that you're married, so we are speaking to the men that aren't married, and how would you direct your son, and how you educate him? I don't know if you have already, how to choose the right woman for him. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a certain way how to find a woman that's made out for that, and for you as an individual. Me, myself, you chose your wife for whatever purpose, but so we're speaking to the men that just out here trying to get a one night stand and just a little cookie. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're not trying to teach that. We're trying to teach them how to find the right woman for them and what to look for, in that woman. I know we all have, you know what I'm saying? So I just want
No, I mean, for me, whenever I talk to young men about this, the first thing I tell them is get yourself right. And I mean, this is similar to what Javier is saying, but to the fact of, if you get yourself right, that right woman will attract to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of, they going out here searching, knowing all these app dating and all that other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you get yourself right, the craziest thing and I'll go to this because we have this thing called Tough Talk at my church. And the guys talk about that. Like, what do we do? What are we supposed to be doing to search for women, or this, that, and the other? And the problem is, if you're looking in the wrong places, you're going to find the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're going out to the bars and nightclubs and stuff like that, and you want a Christian woman, then you're going to the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just about, you have to get yourself right, because a lot of times men are not prepared for that woman yet. They're not prepared for that lady. Everything you asking for is all great until sometimes you get it. And then you're not ready for it. So that's what my thing is always when I talk to these young men is to tell them to get themselves ready. Get yourself to the point where when you get that actual great woman of God, that you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? That you can handle it, and you're leading in the example that you're supposed to. You're going to God. Your wife will then come to you and then to God. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not following under God, then she's not going to follow you. It's that simple. If you're not following under God, then she's not going to follow under you, especially if she's a woman of God, because she knows the order. She knows how it's supposed to go. Now, if you're looking for a girl who's just looking for a bank account, you can find that too out there in the streets. But if you want a real woman and a real woman of God that is going to be there and is going to submit and do all the things that typically men say they want a woman to do, then you have to get yourself in the right place. You have to be ready. You have to be mentally there, physically there, and really about what you're doing. And if you're there, that woman will find you. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's nothing but people getting married left and right at my church. I don't understand. I'm telling you, they find each other so quickly, and they have loving, happy relationships. I think last year we had 10 babies born. You know what I'm saying? And so when people sit here talking about, I can't find a man, I can't find this, I'm like, well, they doing a good job over here in my church. So you might want to go check that out. Because whatever they doing over here is correct. Because people getting married, people are, having babies, all that kind of stuff, having great relationships, and this, that, and the other. And you know what? That's because they're in the right place doing the right thing. So if you're in the clubs and in that place all the time, then yeah, you're gonna find people not having great relationships all the time. But guess what? If you go to churches, man, you find the right church, they in there having great relationships, meeting people, dating, getting married, having kids, and growing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say to.
All right, before I get to you, Lady T. Hey, so Ronnie, I just want to ask you a question. So you mean to tell me, because I don't agree to this, but I'm gonna ask you this anyway. You mean to tell me you have to go to church to find the right woman for you?
That ain't what I said.
I think ain't that what he said, y'all?
He's saying he just mentioned the church.
What did I say first? I said if for the people who are listening in the back, I said get yourself right.
No, okay.
I said get yourself right. I ain't saying nothing about going. I'm saying I'm giving my church as an example because it's true. Because and it's the same thing I've said to people on my podcast when they say, "Oh, I can't find a man." I'll be like, "Well, these girls at my church, they finding them." You know what I'm saying? They finding them. They finding them, locking them up, everything. So you know what I'm saying?
So in other words, you
ain't going to the right place. That's all I got to say.
All right, so the right place is going to church?
It can be.
I don't agree to that.
Okay, so hold on. So what you're saying is that if you go to church and find a right person, you're doing it incorrectly? I'm confused.
No, but I will not prescribe to somebody to tell them, oh, if you go to church, you can find the right woman for you. No, I don't. I'm not.
I didn't say that. I said
that's what I'm getting though. I'm getting that you saying that go to church and you can find the right woman because that's what they supposed to be at.
I'm saying it's a good place to start.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's incorrect.
All right, hold on now. Good. I love it when you do this because now I'm going to hold you to name me a better place.
You can
name me a better place right now to find a significant other. Tell me a better place.
I'm about to tell you, you can go to Barnes and Noble. Yeah, go ahead. What's up? Yeah, Walmart. Yeah, come on, talk to me. Yeah,
Walmart.
No, you can't. Watch this. Hold on. Wait, what you mean?
That's come and go. That's come and go. When you're in the church, you're sitting there, you're listening, you're seeing the same people all the time.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What woman are you finding at Walmart?
Yeah, hold on. Come and go.
Look.
Javier, you married?
I'm with you, bro.
Javier, are you married, sir?
I'm working on it. I got my lady. We getting our things right.
Found at Walmart?
No, I ain't find her at Walmart. I ain't find.
Is Walmart the typical young place?
That's not what I'm saying. No, hold up. But hey, Rodney. But what I'm saying to you is this. look, I'm saying this. You can't. To me, what I'm listening to you, I'm not telling nobody. I will never tell anybody to go to church to find the right woman, because guess what? The first thing you said was this:
get yourself right.
That's the most important thing, because guess what? When you got yourself right, you'll be able to go to places, and you'll be able
that
to
person
engage.
Will,
exactly,
you'll be attracted to you. Yeah,
that's right. And within your engagement with that individual, you'll be able to talk to the woman that's not there, because you know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you this.
I didn't with my wife in church. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't say you had to. But let me ask you this.
What?
Let me ask you this. Name a place where there's more successful marriages. And I'm going to tell you point blank. Yeah, it's in church. It's in church. Church, I'm telling you, you meet these people, you sit here, and y'all have the same ideas, the same thing. I'm telling you, I'm watching them. I'm 24 years in right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching them. And I'm not saying this. I've been to the club. Let me tell you, I ain't seen no successful marriages out of a strip club. I ain't seen no successful marriages out of. But you know what I'm saying? I've been there too.
Right. After they get married,
hey, you find the right church, they doing it right there.
But
you know what I'm saying? If you find the right church, they doing it right. They are making marriages that last.
There you can see, that's the difference. See, we get together now. Guess what? We go to church, right? And now it teaches us how to stay together and strong in unity. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Not saying I'm not telling nobody, go to church, man. They got some fine women over there. That's the perception already that some men have right now living in this world. They think, oh, let me go to church to find the right woman, because guess what? The deceiver's there too. She's in there too. She ain't doing the right thing. So I'm not telling nobody to go to. I'm saying find the right person, and then like Javier said, what you mean good luck?
Good luck.
Did you find your?
I tell my son go straight to church. Yeah,
hey,
go to church. Man,
did you find your look?
No,
did you find
not? No, I did not.
All right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
but he's saying what he's saying is.
I'm saying if you go into the right church, they doing it right over there. So that's all I got to say.
He's
you can't name another place. You can't name another place that your odds are better. There you go. Thank you, Javier. That your odds are better. Like, yo, I mean, look, I got a whole stand-up series about it too. That's the sad thing. I got a whole stand-up series about when you go to church to meet your girl, you can't date anybody that hasn't been. I said, go find you a choir church girl, because she's done at least a 2-year commitment on getting herself together. You know where she at every Sunday because she got choir practice and she ain't going to be in the club. And, you know, but don't go after like a deaconess or the pastor's daughters or anything like that, because they just going to have you working in the church. So you don't want to mess with them. You go right after a church choir girl. I got a whole stand-up thing for it, dog.
Get up out of here with all.
I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you. You get you a choir girl. You go to church. You get you a choir girl. That means she's done at least a 2-year commitment to church so far. Don't get the one that's still dressed like she came out the club in the back of the church. Lord. You know what I'm saying? Get you a nice choir singing girl. She got 2-year commitment. She's been working on herself. And she about that life. There you go. You know where she gonna be at on Sunday because she gotta sing. So therefore, she ain't in the clubs. This, that, and the other. So it's guaranteeing your odds. I'm telling you, Javier, go check out a choir girl. If you not in a relationship, get back to me.
Hey Javier,
he's in a relationship.
Hey Javier, so Javier,
drop the mic.
Hey Jav, listen. Yeah. The one thing that he said is get yourself right. But listen, when you allow God to direct your path, guess what? The right woman will be right there for you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rodney. Hey, listen. Now I'm gonna go to Lady T. Lady T. So we gonna reverse it.
Okay.
How? And I know your situation. You don't have to tell the world. We already know that. So how would you address? No. Because I don't want you to go into all that.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so. You're right. So how would you direct the women and say how would they? Because
Oh, because I have no sons. Is that what you mean? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I have no sons. I have daughters. So is that
No,
that's what you meant?
I don't think I can ask you that question.
Oh,
I no, because I didn't prep up to ask that question.
well, you said something about the females, girls. So
Yeah, but I
Just
mean,
reverse the question.
Huh?
To get the
yeah,
woman's
ask the
perspective.
question.
Yeah, ask the question.
How would I tell the girls or women to find the right man? Is that the question?
That's tough.
I mean, I'm gonna say I'll basically say the same thing. I know he's making it difficult. So it's
no,
all
because
him.
hey, Ronnie, no, look, this was question was it's explain to the men how it's important to teach the men how to find the right woman to build their family. Women don't build the family. That's why I said it's hard. It's hard. You feel me?
And women, are you saying that women can't find the right man either
to build their family?
Right. That's what he makes it sound like.
I mean, wait a minute.
Yeah, because the men choose, right? Is that what you're gonna say too?
That's it.
I don't think so. I think it's the women that choose. We're not gonna go into that debate, but y'all go off of the Bible, say that.
Hold on, what you want to say, Rodney?
You want to say that they choose? I have no problem with that. So
let me tell you something. I'm glad my wife found me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I was out
and
here
it's
long.
always the woman.
I was in the wilderness.
Hey, it was always the woman's choice.
Hey,
okay.
What?
I'm good with it.
Hey, Rodney, you said
I am securing my manhood, sir. Yeah,
all right, watch this. Hold up. Listen. Watch this. Ask this question.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Did you ask to marry her, or she asked to marry? Okay, there you go. Thank you.
No. So a woman will choose by doing the right thing for the man that she loves. That's why I say that, because she will do the right thing for the man she loves. That is her choice. The woman that will wander is her choice because she does not love that man. That's what I'm saying. The woman chooses because she will choose how she will be towards her man. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. And so the man will know he is loved by that woman, and then he will say, will you marry me? Because that's how he chooses. He chooses by saying, she chose me first. Always remember that. I put it as the woman is the one that is saying, I will be the right woman for this man. So that's all I'm saying. But ask me the question again. So, okay, I'm going to say, I know the question, but I think Rodney said it really well, because I'm all about, get yourself together first, right? You have to know yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to know how to love another person. So I would teach my daughters, women, to love themselves first, to care for themselves in the way that they are to present in not in a boastful way, because women nowadays are all about show, a lot of, flashiness and a lot of stuff that it's not really worth it. But it's a mindset that I would want to teach, a mindset to, be a woman that I do say softness. We don't have a lot of soft women nowadays. When I say softness, I'm not talking about you a punk. I'm just saying softness by being loving in a soft way to a man. Women are always hard on men. A lot of women. I'll say I have been. I'll put myself there. I'm going to put myself to say I've been hard on men, and I want to be, a different type of woman to a man nowadays. But I would teach them how to, be a loving woman, but they have to love themselves the right way first. So that's basically what I will say for the beginning. That is the number one. And then it's teaching them to just wait. That right man will come. I believe that. Whoever said that earlier, that right man will come. He will come into the woman's life, and then that woman will know if she will choose that man or not.
But Lady T, of course, it takes two to tango. So of course, the woman choose the man, right? Of course. Let's get that one. Let's get that straight. Of course, she chooses because she said, "This is the ideal man that I want to marry. He fits all the criteria that I want in my life." So yes, she chooses, but then also you got to remember, it takes two. Right. The man is the one who initiates. He wants you to say, you know what, this is the woman, and he says, "Will you marry me?" You don't really see women, and I think those are thirsty women. They may not like me for this, but I think those are thirsty women that say to a man, "Will you marry me?" I know that's the tradition, but that's the right thing to do, because it's a lot. It should be a standard. A man should ask to marry a woman. You know, you should go to the father and say, can I have your, your daughter's hand? You want to, because you want the father to know, listen, I'm taking your daughter and I'm going to love her the best way I can. I'm going to treat her like the queen that you were raised, to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tradition that it should keep going on, because that's important. And then you get, the father gets to know the man, and vice versa with the mother, get to know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yes, you were right. I'm not discrediting what you're saying about you choosing. Yes, but at the end of the day, the man should say, "Will you marry me?" Because
yeah, that's not, we weren't talking, but I agree that men are the ones also that will say if they will be a good man to a woman as well, and if they will be faithful, if they will be loving. So it's both, and it's both on both parties. But I say the women are the ones that choose, because y'all men, y'all out there, you are everywhere. Men are everywhere for women, and women have a lot, but the woman is going to say, am I going to choose you, or do you or you? That's what I mean. The options for a woman can be high, because women are out there doing their thing, looking beautiful, getting that attention and everything. They do it. Believe me. I mean, I am shocked how they do it well. I'm like, girl, how you do it like that? I can't. I have no time and patience for it, but they do it. And I just, know that they have more options than, possibly men. I don't know. I'm going to say that. I might start something by that.
Lady T.
Yes.
Just to prove Chef Dennis wrong, when you ask to marry her, aren't you asking?
Huh?
Aren't you asking her to marry you? You're not going up to her saying, look, we're going to go get married on Tuesday.
You said, will you marry me? Yeah. What you mean?
Saying, will you marry me? So she has a choice.
The choice.
So she's choosing you.
Hey, hold up.
No.
You late. Wait a minute. You late. You
right. You right, Rodney.
You late, Rodney.
But you said that the woman don't choose. You said the man chooses. No, he asked.
I corrected
that.
Yeah. I corrected that already.
Oh, that might have been, my camera went out, so I'm trying to fix
we know.
That. Yeah,
don't let me have to take no boomerang to your head.
Yeah,
man, he backpedaled. Don't worry about it. He backpedaled on that Lady T. I missed it. I'm sorry. All right, cool. Hey, I'm gonna leave the studio but come right back in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got you. I'm
gonna fix that.
But yeah, I think that honestly, though, when it comes to like finding the right person, I mean, we were talking earlier, and I don't remember how the conversation went, but finding the right person, and how people are not able to stay in relationships because the two of them can't, get along. Toxic. That's what Rodney was talking about. Toxic relationships. It's unfortunate that we bring children in the world and we're not able to make a relationship work with the other parent. It's something that happens on a regular, though. But it's something that we could do better as people. Once you have a child and you bring this child in the world, you got to figure out a way to make it right. But unfortunately, people live in different lives, and they have, different environments that keep them away from, doing better for themselves and their children. I just wanted to bring that point.
KJ, I was replying to his thing. Of course, if the father is not active, of course, you got to go through the mother, and you work it out through there. If the mother is in a child's life, the woman's life, yeah, you got to go through the mother. You got to talk to her. You got to talk it over her. She got to make sure that you're the right guy. Y'all have a conversation, have lunch, have dinner, and y'all break bread there, and then she can encourage her daughter. Yes, this is the man for you. Give her some type of advice on if you're the right person for that individual. So yeah, the father's not active. Yes. As I was getting this topic together, I came across this quote. I'm gonna read it to you guys, and then I'm gonna go to the next question. A lot of times, anger is to use to hide our vulnerability. Many men and people suppress our emotions. It's difficult to control them. Sometimes the mask we wear is real life taken to a brokenness point, and we are focused to expose our true feelings.
All right, Javier.
Sorry, guys.
I'm messing with you, man, because I can't mess up. It's all good.
All right. So the next question would be, why would it be? How would you have an order and structure to building a strong foundation with the family, with the woman, the right woman? So the order and structure, what would be the ideal order and structure for the family that you would tell young men? What would the order be and the structure? How would you structure? Even though everybody has their own way of structuring things, but what would be your ideal structure of, how you would structure a family? What will be first for you, Javier?
How would I structure my family? I think I would have to be the example. And I've spoken about this, about how the man has to be the example, right? There's no room for error, as I mentioned, right? You can't get angry. We can't we can't show weakness into the moments where our kids are watching or copying. We can't basically be sinning out here in front of our kids, in front of our wives, and in front of our family, because they're gonna copy that. They're gonna say that's okay, that's acceptable behavior, right? And I always a good way to start my day is I try to make the bed, right? It's this concept of like, hey, we get up, we don't make the bed, we just keep it moving, right? But like, there's this such a level of discipline to just being like, yo, the bed is so sacred. Respect the bed, right? We get sleep. You can take 5 seconds to make the bed, and like I feel like that sets the tone for my day, right? It's like, hey, if I can make the bed, I can iron my clothes, I can wash the dishes, I can maintain clean. So it's just like being super intentional with just everything you do, right? And like I think that's what like God teaches us is like just be impactful, do things right with integrity. If you get upset, try to take that second to really process like why you're upset, like what are you doing wrong that's causing this, right? I'm a big chess player, so I'm always thinking about like, hey, what's the next move? What can I do to better the situation? So a lot of like that structure and order comes from just like how you represent yourself, right? And I that's why I love that as I have gotten older, I went from being a messy person, a disorganized person, smoking weed a lot, drinking, partying, hanging out, to now like I wake up, I make my bed, I iron my clothes, I call my mama, like just as like doing things that just set the tone for your day, that hey, they're like little pluses in your day that just add up after a year after year. And I think after, and like, don't have any kids, but when I do, I definitely want to teach them that, like, you just gotta lead by example, lead with that integrity. Integrity is such a big word for me. It's just like, we just half-ass everything nowadays, and like I think that will play out at work, that will play out with your loved ones, right? Love the woman, respect the woman, listen to the woman, right? You're not always right, your perspective may not be the actual right viewpoint, right? And being able to humble yourself through that, right? And because like I feel like the devil will creep in, they'll think you're doing things right, get your ego right, you're feeling good, and then boom, you fall. And then it's hard to be like, hey, I fell, can I take accountability on that I fell? So like all these things that we teach in the Bible, that they teach in the church, play that out in your life.
Okay. I got one thing to say real quick, Javier. You keep on saying there's no room for error, and every time you say it, it bothers me a little bit. And I'm just saying, look, man, for me personally, and this is my opinion, error is a part of the process. You're going to make mistakes. You're never perfect. Sometimes you got to make the best decision out of two bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? And so, error is part of it. So every time you say there's no room for error, it just kind of bothers me. And I would just say to you, change that, man. Just make sure that you're able to learn from your mistakes. Because you kind of said that at the end too, that if you make mistakes, be accountable. But it's just every time you say it, it just bothers me in my heart for some odd reason. I don't know why.
I'm not saying I'm not saying you're not gonna make mistakes, but I'm saying like if you're keep making the mistakes over and over again, there is no learning that's happening, right? Yeah. Like, and that's where I'm saying, like, if you're the dad of the homie, right, and you keep falling, your kids are gonna see you fall, like your wife seeing you fall, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna learn eventually, but it's like not like I feel like I feel like when you fall, you're like, all right, cool, I know that was wrong. Let me not make that mistake again. And that's kind of
Yeah.
where my idea, right? Like I do agree with
Okay.
you. Like, you do want to make errors, but I'm saying you want to limit your errors as much as possible. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
got
of
you.
my point.
I got you. Nah, it's all good. It was just every time because I'm like, damn, if that was the case, I'm a terrible father because I make mistakes all the damn time. You know.
Well, try not to make those mistakes.
But I learned, hey, the biggest thing I do is I take my learning. So I'm big on that, learning from other people's mistakes, and even I take my mistakes and for me, I feel like just like one of the big things that me and my wife talk about is having having our argument in front of our kids. Because now some people, now I'm gonna go into that whole thing, but I believe that the bigger lesson is showing your kids that you can have an argument and still love each other. That you can have an argument because we're not always going to agree. And I feel it's more detrimental that y'all go in a room and you're arguing and then the kids don't see the makeup. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest thing is I always say, with my wife and this, that, and the other is that, I'm okay with this argument. And we've had times when we had arguments and like my daughter used to always want to jump in. And I told her, I said, baby, you got to understand, this is just foreplay. I was like, you're getting all upset. And I'm going to be banging your mother later on.
Hey, get that out of here.
I would be so irritated.
Yes, me too.
But I was honest. I was like, you're getting upset. You got to understand that parents argue. We have disagreements, but you got to understand, me and your mother still love each other. Trust me, I'm not leaving because she didn't cook the eggs the way I want them cooked or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to understand the difference between that. But I mean, hey, let me tell you something. That now my daughter, if we having an argument, she be like, can y'all just get a room now? You know what I'm saying? That's her whole attitude, opposed to having that attitude of when your parents are arguing, they're crying in the room and all this other kind of stuff. Nah, now my daughter's like, look, just can y'all get this over with? You know what I'm saying? So we can finish dinner or whatever the case may be. And I believe that is a different experience that a lot of parents hide from their kids. But the biggest thing to do is to show your kids that you can argue, you can have a disagreement, and you can come to an acceptable agreement that everything's good. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is not the end of the world just because your parents are arguing or just because we have a disagreement or whatever the case may be. So no, I'm just a person that believes in that. So anyway. Well, I don't even remember if that was part of the question. So
yeah, but no, don't worry. I disagree with Rodney. I firmly disagree with that. That's your scenario. I'm not going to do no arguing.
Well, that's your argue. Personality, though.
I know, because
as you can see, I like the smoke. I run towards it.
I'll be like, listen, I look, but listen, but that came with trial and error because. Now that I'm, married a second time, I don't do the same thing I did in the first time because look, it caused some damage. Arguing with her, even though we made up, but just arguing, it caused damage. And I'm like, yo, now I'm to the point like I don't want that. We gonna have a discussion, not now, later. When we calm down, we both calm down because we don't always agree. But it's like this because I'm being honest. Anybody that's upset. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. Everybody have their own perception. But I feel like anybody that's upset, they can't focus on agreeing at that moment. You're going to get what you got off on your chest. But at the focus point, you're not trying to hear. You're not trying to listen because even the therapist will tell you, if two people are yelling, they're not listening. Therapists tell you that if you are yelling, you're not listening to either one. The man can be yelling, the woman can be yelling. Y'all ain't listening. Y'all just getting steam off, and that's it. And then guess what? You're not gonna resolve it right then and there. You resolve it when you calm down because now you're calm, you can hear, and you listening, and now you're thinking logically. So now you're saying, you know what? Maybe I was wrong, and now you're telling your wife or vice versa. You're saying, babe, you know what? That was foolish of me. I wasn't thinking. I got in my emotions. My bad, baby. Now let's go in the room and So you know what I'm saying? Everybody different, but that's just
how it ends up.
You know what I mean? So
you know what I'm saying? If you got a healthy relationship, the argument ends up in the bedroom.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, for sure.
I agree with you, Rodney. I do. And I thought of when you said that, I thought of my parents and how they would tell us certain things like that. And we'd be just nasty. Like, you know, we don't want to hear that. But that's a healthy way of being in your relationship with your woman, your husband. Have that, you know, if you argue a little bit and then show them that afterwards you made up, there's a makeup session, and then you don't have that argument way too long. And then to show the children that is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel. Yeah, I get you. So, hey, mama gonna be in the kitchen cooking grits later. Don't get all upset. Don't get on her side. Don't worry, she gonna be in there. She's gonna be in there cooking daddy dinner. Don't worry about it.
So Rodney, so since you just jumped in, what will you tell the men for your ideal structure of wholesome family?
God first. God first starts there. God first. You gotta put God first in everything you do. Another big thing that I do, and now to get back to it, when we do argue, and we are having that time, we pray first. When we having that time to get ready to have that conversation about the argument, or we're getting ready to have that conversation about the kids, or even when my daughter or my son do something wrong in school, and I gotta get ready to talk to them about it, we all sit at the table and we pray first. And the one thing I learned that from my therapist, because when me and my wife went to marriage counseling, before every marriage counseling joint, we prayed. And that just became a habit I took home. You know what I'm saying? So when I have a one-on-one conversation with my father, my son, my daughter, my wife, everything, if you really want to work it out, and I'll be honest with you, it is so with disarming. I guess disarming would be the word. When you pray before you get ready to have a conversation about that argument, that all that hostility that was in you leaves. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you pray that, you know, we come here in a place of love. We're coming here to work out this situation, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. It really disarms all that rah, you know, this, that, and the other before you, and people tend to listen. I'm not going to say it's 100% guaranteed, but, you know, it's very useful to do. And that's something that I practice. I practice praying before we have that discussion. I practice praying before, even when I'm getting ready to have a discussion with my wife about something that she did that upset me or hurt me or this, that, and the other, I take the time to pray with her first. And I've come to that. And when I do that, it definitely helps. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I'll say it's more times than other that the conversation happens without all the yelling, screaming, and whatever the case may be. So I put that as a cold heart, definitely in my book. When I write my book about being a dad and all this stuff I'm gonna do, I'm definitely gonna put that in there. But yeah, man. But God first. You lead with God in your relationship with your kids, your parents, your wife, all that kind of stuff. And if you put God first, everything else will line up after it. So
great answer.
Well, Lady T, what about you? I guess you're gonna chime right on in.
What's the question?
Well, Dennis don't even want you to go to church to find a mate, so I don't know what his answer is. I don't know what his answer is. Hey. Go ahead, Lady T. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think it was more for the men. So what's the question?
No, the structure. What would you say to the ladies? The structure of the household would you want it to be? Your structure. How would you see it?
I mean, that's hard to say because I do look at it as the man should be the one to put more structure into the home. You know, I do believe man should lead in the home. I do believe that man should be the one in the front, you know, saying everything. So I would basically, you know, say, what would your husband say? You know, I would do a lot of that. I would ask a lot of questions about him and what he wants and how he feels. And I would most likely be on his side. side to make her understand what he's trying to say, especially if he's a good man, So
in other words, you the yes woman. Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
nah, I'm not that. So
No.
I'm not. But it would be, I would give the respect for the man. That's my point. I would look at it as, okay, honey, you are there to be a support to him as well. But what does he want? I would want to know how he feels, what he wants. I would want to know more about him instead of, just going on her side only. So that's all.
Beautiful answer right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of women can't handle that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say I got a hard time. I got to go. The wife, he's calling me for dinner. So I really appreciate everybody here. This conversation. This was super meaningful for me just to have like-minded people talking. I don't, in New York, you don't get a lot of this, a lot of conversation. So Dennis, keep cooking because this is something special you got going. So
I appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate everybody here.
All right,
nice to meet you.
All right, Javi.
Yeah.
So so let me chime right on in with my boy. Hold on, let me get this three-headed dragon up ahead. There we go, right here, man. Yeah, what you say now, Ronnie? Let me get back to you, man. You say?
Hey, like what? I said, hey, you the one said you gonna tell your kids don't go to church.
No, I'm not.
You gonna tell them go to the strip club or whatever.
Watch this. No.
Yeah,
hey,
name one. What? Which bar in New York? 40/40 Club.
That's I ain't telling them to go no bar. You can meet. Listen, you can meet them anywhere your heart's desire, but don't go to the gates of the trickery. Yes, okay. The gates of hell. That's it. And then those places because you can find them anywhere, man. We see when you walking in the spirit, when you walking with God, God will lead you to that right woman. Stop it, man. Stop it. Okay?
No, I'm not saying that either.
And but look, I'm not going to argue with you and say, I'm saying don't be saying that, go to church and find no, because that's how look, I'm gonna
come to my church. I'm gonna tell you right now, come to my church. You can find the good woman there.
Look, I've been raised in the church all my life, and that's what I said. Go to church and find you a right woman.
You can find a good dude too.
They be the worst.
Because I'm here watching them. Watching them.
That's just
the
yours.
only reason I can say it because I'm here watching them.
They be the worst. Giving it up to you right
I get
the
coach
first
in
night.
Here. Coach say the same thing. Coach say the same. You just got to find the right church. The key was the right church. I didn't say find any church. Find the right church.
You find the right church. I agree with him.
Find the right one. You gotta find the right one.
What's right? Am I saying right to what?
I said they giving it up the first night. Tell me, oh, you so cute. Oh, let's go and lay down. Yeah, those are church girls.
That's everywhere.
Hey, church girls. That's what you tell them to go to church girls.
Yeah,
fellas. No,
my wife is a pastor's daughter. Yeah. Yeah, don't
know about the pastor's daughter.
I still love her though. I still love her. But yeah, I just caught her early enough. I caught her before the rest of somebody else got to her. That's all. But yeah, both of her parents are pastors. You gotta believe it.
I want you to preserve yourself.
And she got that Holy Ghost. They prayed over that.
Look.
He loved his wife.
Lord Jesus.
They prayed over that. That was she was made by two preachers. I'm telling you, God blessed her.
Lord help him. God, he don't know what he's talking about right now, God. He don't know what he's talking about. Stop.
Doing the humming.
I'm gonna call it that, baby. Tell him God blessed you. Yes, Lord.
See, look. KJ said, let me look.
Hey, KJ, come through, dog. That's my man Kenneth. You know you can come through, man. I'm telling you.
He said he need to visit your church.
Come
here, baby. Tell them they're getting married at our church. They getting married and having kids left and right over there. Come down here and tell him. He don't believe me. See, you think I'm talking crazy.
But hey, Rodney, they could go in down there and get married, but is that what God want? Some people get married and that's not even what God wants for them. Come on, talk to me now.
How you going? So where they supposed to go? Tell me where they supposed to go.
I told you.
I told you. Come on, tell her. Ain't in the water here. You can just see yelling on the mic.
Yes, it's in the tea that they're served, tea and the coffee in the mornings as people come in. Everybody's getting pregnant. When all kinds of people.
You talking about all the married couples? Yeah,
No. Hey,
yeah.
Lacey, you heard she said? Yes, it's in the tea. They dropping stuff in the tea. Oh, I'm calling FBI. They dropping stuff in the tea.
Can't hear him. Huh?
I didn't hear him.
He said, is it true that your parents are both pastors and you are very blessed because they prayed for you and you became the awesome woman that you are? Huh? Is that true?
Yes, they're both ministers.
There we go. See? Told you, man. I'm telling you, boy. You better get you a pastor's daughter.
Hey, Roddy, you right. You better not let it in.
Better get to a pastor's daughter. I love you, boo. You so pretty.
Oh, loving
Woo,
this
girl.
wifey.
Yeah, man. You better go ahead. If you can't hype your wife, who you gonna hype?
Hey, don't go. Look, after this episode, don't go and start a fight, and then want to go and have her cook some grits afterwards. Okay?
Nah, my wife don't. Yeah, that only worked in the beginning. Now fights don't work no more. That don't get me nothing.
Okay, that's over now.
But no, to answer the question though, Ronnie, all jokes aside, it's truly allowing God to be the head of your life, and He will lead you to the woman that of your heart's desire. That's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know how to do this. Some people don't want to do that. They do it, the appearance, and then after that, then they find out that this is not the person for them. So truly, because God will teach you have a heart of compassion, a heart of discernment. No, I said a heart, but the spirit of discernment. And then also, it's a task to have leadership over your head when you a husband, because God has called you to be the head, and being the head of your family, it requires you to be a great leader. So it's important to you have to have the full body of armor, and that's really spiritual, but I'm not going to go there, but that's truly what you need to have to be guided, be led, because it's hard to lead a family. You have to lead your family first before you can even lead anybody to Christ. You know what I'm saying? You have to be an example to them before you can be an example to anybody else. So being a great father, being a great husband, it comes with a great responsibility. It comes with humbleness, obedience, meekness. It comes with a devotion that only your wife can get from you. And then once you do that for her, you can be devoted to other things in your life. You can be, focused on that task when you're at work, or, you have a task with your children. You can be focused with that, because like I said, it's a great responsibility to be a leader. And some people are not meant to be a leader. They have to grow into their leadership. So with growth comes with understanding. And if you understand what it is to be a leader, then you know what you have to do and what's required of you. And so that's important. I think every man that has children are not ready to be a leader. They have to be taught how to be a lead if they don't have the relationship with their father, if they don't have a good relationship with their father, if they have a poor relationship. So now they have to go into learning. They're going to have to go into hiding to find out how they're going to be the best father, the best version of a father that they can be. Because I can tell you this right now, being a father comes with a great responsibility, but the responsibility, I think, is the loving part. Being able to love on a level of understanding the woman, understanding your children, because sometimes they act out and we don't know how to love on them when they act out. And so that's why it's important to have God the center of your heart, the center of your mind, and allow God to be a mouthpiece, because sometimes we talk with emotions, and we're not supposed to talk with emotions. We're supposed to talk, calm. And that's why if you emulate what Jesus did, he was always calm. There was times where he got upset when he turned over the table, but most of the time he was calm because he wanted his word to be heard in a calm, moderate voice. But so, that's my answer. Truly God has to be the center of your heart. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, y'all.
I agree.
But Yeah, Jasmine. The topic is father relationships.
He's like,
So
I'm not gonna leave them out.
the
I love my
importance,
mama. That's what he's saying. He loves his mama.
the importance of
If Chef say blue, Desmond say gray.
get him. Yup, that's it. That's
I
it.
told her, hey, Lady T, I don't think he was there for that, but I told him and Dennis, I was like, if y'all both go outside and Chef say the sky is blue, you gonna say it's gray, don't you? You're like, y'all can't get nothing right. But I see Miss Allison there. How you doing, Miss Allison?
Hey,
Hey.
Allison.
My boy KJ said,
Yeah.
what if God gives you the spouse you need, not the one you want? Now, that don't make sense to me because God don't make mistakes. So
I think that's
So-
a good one because sometimes you got to work things out through another person, work yourself out. Like issues that you may have within yourself is a reflection in another person in your life. So those ones they come in your life because you need to work it out.
Wait. So
how they get to be your spouse if you didn't want them? I don't understand
No,
that
he
part. That's
said,
the part
what-
I don't understand the question.
Hold on.
Opposites
First of all,
attract.
wait. First of all, like Ronnie said, I'm gonna go with you, Ronnie. You said what? He said, I didn't see that. He said, what if God gives you the spouse you need and not the one you want? Okay, first of all, God is
divorce.
huh? What'd you say?
First, I say divorce. It would be, something divorce would happen.
Nah, but God always give you what you need, and then eventually you realize
I disagree with y'all.
it's what you want. Because guess what? Sometimes the beautiful woman is not what you need. It's someone that's going to be the supporting for you, the battery in your back, because that other person, it might be beautiful, right? But she doesn't support you. She doesn't agree with you. She's always going against the grain with you. So she's not even evenly yoked because you looked at her, you said, oh, she's so beautiful, but she's not evenly yoked. That's what you want. Every man, I think, let me not say every man, because then I'll be having
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Because I was going to check out as soon as you said it. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. But hold on. But I gotta let me go there. Every man wants a beautiful woman.
Okay.
Every man.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what looks good for me may not look good for Ronnie. So everybody wants someone that looks good, right? But now, guess what? God will give you somebody that is not desirable for you at that moment, but then as time go on, it's what you need, and then you begin to look at her differently, and you say, "Man, you're gorgeous," because God changes you. He transforms everything about you. So in the beginning, you was like, she ain't all that. You won't tell nobody that, but in your mind, you said she ain't all that. But then as you get to know her, and you be like, she's the bomb. You understand what I'm saying? So when he say God gives you a spouse that you need and not what you want, God gonna give you what you need and what you want.
Let me tell you something. You know how many times I've been wrong going after something I want? You know what I'm saying? I wanted this car. Don't mean I needed it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get that expensive car. I wanted to get that expensive watch or the expensive shoes. Don't mean I needed it. God only give you what you need.
That's
it. You
know
what I'm saying? But I'm saying, but it don't matter. I don't understand the one thing because I don't know how you get a spouse that you don't want. How does that even happen? That to me just blows my mind. Like, how do you get that spouse that you wanted her at some point in time for her to become your spouse? So, I can't even understand the question, I guess, as he put it, in my opinion, because you ain't going. I can't understand how a person becomes a spouse if you didn't want her.
First of all, but be honest with you. Hold up. First of all, wait a minute. Let's. If you want to read it in context, first of all, God's not going to give you no wife. That's number one.
Why not?
Huh?
Why wouldn't he give you a wife?
Because you have to choose. You have to make that choice. God, we're not gonna go in this because Lady T about to go in 10 if I say this.
I'm not confused.
Not you.
I'm just curious to how you're limited God, but go ahead.
Because God, you got to remember, God gives us free will. So God gives us a choice to choose. You got to choose that woman. Like you said, he not giving you nothing. You're going to choose that woman. You're going to choose her. Now you understand me now?
I hear you, but I still don't believe God cannot give you. He can give you a woman. He can give you the woman you're supposed to be with. I believe my wife is a gift from God. I 100% in stone cold. I wasn't searching for her. I didn't look for her.
So, hey, Rodney, he presented you. Look, he presented you with your wife, right? When he presented it to you, right? Look, you said, "Oh yeah, I do. I'll marry you." Come on.
No.
You chose. You said, "Will you marry me, baby?" She said, "Yeah." Okay, what are you talking about? You made a choice.
But I'm saying when I'm saying when I met my wife, it was a gift. It wasn't. I didn't go looking for her, and I didn't do anything special. I wasn't special. You know what I'm saying? And at that point in time, I was going through. I was in one of the worst places in my life. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time when I met her, and I believe that God has gifted a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, our children are gifts. And people to say that God doesn't gift you a spouse, to me just doesn't compute in my head, because I feel that I'm truly blessed and God did gift my wife to me.
All right, so
100%.
So in the scripture it says, "A man that findeth a wife finds a good thing."
Mm-hmm.
So you found your wife. God allow you to find her, because that's in the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
God said, "A man that findeth a wife finds a good thing." So that now you get that now. That's it. Now you said give, but God said
no, because the first gift of man was
God gave
a woman.
No, listen, what? But look, God gave Adam Eve.
He didn't give her a choice. He didn't give her a choice. He gifted her. He gifted him.
Now don't go. Look, you now. Hold on. Now, oh boy.
I'm just being honest. We're having a discussion, right?
All right, but now watch this. You open up a can. Look, you can open up a can of worms, because guess what? You gotta remember, God gave Adam Eve, and sin did not exist at that moment.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about.
Hold on, but you can't. Don't miss. No. Don't miss that. Let's not miss that. God said you need helpmate. So you can't go past that. So when you say God gave, God said you need a helpmate. Help. Oh, there we go.
Maybe I'm just arrogant, because my wife was born for me. When she was born, God knew she was coming to me.
Look, that's how you got
to say.
Look, predestined.
Arrogant. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm not saying nothing about your relationship, Chef Dennis, but my wife is a gift from God, sir.
Rodney, you're just basically saying it was predestined. God knew what he was doing and gave you the wife that you were supposed to be with. I get it.
100%. Even when I'm dumb and didn't know it, I still knew God. Yeah, he knew. I'm good.
Lord Jesus.
You can't convince me of anything else. So, I mean.
That's how you feel. I got you. No problem.
100%.
No problem.
When I get to heaven, I'm thanking him. Thank you. Because I could have got some of these other ones out.
When you get to what?
When I get to heaven, I'm gonna thank him.
I thought you said
I'm gonna thank God. Thank you for giving me a wife. Because I seen some of these other dudes, and I'm good. I'm okay.
Let's read what he wrote.
Okay, hold on.
He said, "We're superficial. That's it. Can't change what God could and will."
Hey, Kenneth, you need to stop using these big words, man. Yeah. You always Kenneth is a minister as well. I think he's a minister. I'm pretty sure it's Reverend. But.
Yeah. Well, listen. God, well, he said, think about it. Give us what we need. Well, guess what? Yeah, God gave me what I need in my wife. Okay. I chose her, and God said, listen, I've got the right person for you. But guess what? It's going to be in this season, in this time, that you're going to meet her. You ain't ready for her right now. See, Rodney? See, you ain't ready for her right now. So guess what?
If I had met my wife 6 months earlier, I would have not been with her.
Exactly. See? So God said, I'm going to wait to send you the right person for you.
You just said God don't do that though.
No,
ain't that what he's ain't that the whole start of the conversation, Lady T?
Mhm.
Give.
And now
Yo,
he said,
give. Look, when God
Hey,
give you
don't worry
something,
about it. Hey,
you can't take it away.
hey,
Right.
Come on, Toe. Wait a minute. When God give you something, you can't take it away.
Right.
Stop it. Come on, talk to me now. Talk to me. When God give you something, you can't take it away.
Okay.
Come on.
And I can't
You
take my wife away.
Hold
What
up.
do you
Look,
mean?
you
I
listen.
can't
You
take
have
her
to
away.
listen. You have to choose to be saved. You got to choose. You got to choose to be saved. You right? Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
He got to preach right now.
Come
so.
on, yeah.
That was his
man, look.
preaching. That was a sermon.
Let me stop. Don't let me get started. Come on, stop now. Huh?
I said, don't worry about it, Chef Dennis. I know when you see your wife,
He
you're gonna
does.
thank
He
God
likes
for her too.
U-turns. He likes to do U-turns sometimes.
He be 3-pointing that sometimes. He be trying to figure it out. I don't worry about it. I'm okay with mine. I know God gave me my wife. I'm good with it. Lifetime, this, that, and the other. So
I know that's right.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh man, we had. I'm so glad to be here. I know, right? We are so glad to be here. We had a great topic. Tomorrow is going to be another juicy one. Tomorrow is co-parenting. We're going to try to help these young generation how to co-parent. Because I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, my task right now is even harder, bro. I know Ronnie's is harder too. You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
Well, you got young teenagers coming up. I got a young adult that's in college now, and the boy is experiencing the world. And I'm telling you right now, he is I said, son, please be prayed up, son. It's gonna be women all over. You got your head on your shoulder. You athlete. You focus. You determined. I said, please don't let them pull you down, because they all over him. Them women.
Stay away from the church.
I see what I said to him. You said stay away from church. I say stay prayed up, son. Stay prayed up. Be reading your word. You know what I'm saying?
They pray in the strip club too.
Yeah. No, what? No, the devil ain't praying in no strip club.
They do.
They ain't praying in no strip club.
I've seen the strippers pray before they even go out on the set. So
you're right. They pray. Say, God, to their God. They say, God, let it rain. Let it rain. Let it rain. Yeah,
they say make it clap. They say it all. Yes,
I knew a stripper that said, "I want to be like Noah. I wanted to rain all night."
Yeah, she prayed.
40 nights.
That's right.
I don't know what God she prayed to.
She prayed.
Prayed to some other God. Yeah.
Prayed up.
But I'm messing with you.
No. Yeah, we all have fun. It's all fun, man. It's all fun. But listen, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Cause gotta go in and check on the wifey, because she's still under the weather.
Aww.
So yeah, I know. So yeah, go check
that
on her.
Bug going around. Everybody's sick.
Word. But
a couple weeks ago, that was terrible.
It had you out, knocked out. Mm-hmm. She ain't been to work. Look, she ain't been to work Thursday, Friday, today.
Hey, I think I was on here one day. I told y'all I was sick.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, it's right. I think it was Thursday. You was Thursday because Friday we did Monday we did a show. We did with Dez. But listen, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. So see you guys tomorrow. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I love you guys. Peace.
All right.
Oof.